Hello YouTube. I'm actually speaking to you yeah, that's right. I actually have a topic for discussion today, and that topic is human rights. And the reason that topic has come up is because I don't know how, if you'll be aware, there's a guy who was released recently in the UK on bail, who was one of those mad mullahs who would just say the most criminal, nasty things while he was preaching to people in a mosque. Now, there's a lot of people that want to deport this chap to Jordan, which is where he's from originally, and also where he's wanted on some terrorist charges over there. But the downside to deporting someone to Jordan is that they torture people. So the European Court of Human Rights has said, no, that would be against his human rights to deport him to Jordan, because he's going to get tortured if he gets sent to Jordan. So they've denied, the European Court has denied deportation to Jordan, which, this is going to be a controversial opinion I'm sure, but I agree with. I wouldn't want to be party to sending anyone, no matter who they were, anywhere where they were going to be tortured or executed or, you know, that sort of thing. Prison, sure. Torture, no. But it's caused a bit of a rift between left and right in this country, and some of the stuff you hear people saying is unbelievable. Because my thought about human rights is human rights are completely universal. Everyone should have the same human rights as everyone else. You've got the same rights as me, I've got the same rights as you. Taking those rights away or breaching your rights is unacceptable. But there's a radio station called London's Big Conversation, which can be, it's about as close to talk radio in America as you can get here in the UK, really, because talk radio in America, especially the conservative Christian talk radio, it's ridiculous. But one of the guys who's all in favour of deporting this bloke, one of the things he said was something I found quite worrying, and he got a lot of people ringing in agreeing with him. He said, when matters of national security are at stake, should we ignore people's human rights? And people saying, yeah, it's great, we shouldn't be, protecting people who want to bring harm to this country and blah blah blah, and if security is at risk, then yeah, fuck the human rights. That is the most worrying thing I've ever heard anyone say, because it's a very slippery slope. As soon as you set the precedent that if you can justify national security being at risk, you can just ignore human rights, where does that end? Because if it's anything like the terrorism laws, basically someone has an idea, which is not a bad one, where if someone is suspected of terrorism, then they can be held for longer and they can be treated in certain ways, different ways. Which seems like a good idea. If you catch someone building bombs in their backyard, get them off the streets, sure. But the problem is they were very woolly about what the definition of terrorism is. So now, for example, if you look around YouTube for police stop photographer or something, you will notice that they're stopping people and arresting people who are just taking photographs in public places, which is perfectly legal under the Anti-Terrorism Act. It's obviously not a terrorism situation, but they use the Anti-Terrorism Act to do that. They just get abused, they're misunderstood by the police that enforce them, which is fine, they can't be expected to know all the laws, but that's pretty grave misuse of them. So if you're willing to ignore human rights, if you can justify national security being a risk, then what's to stop? You can just arrest anyone for anything. As soon as you can come up with some cockamamie, crappy, bollocky scheme, oh, that's national security. I mean, it's a freedom of speech issue as well. In the UK, we don't really have freedom of speech the same way that you do in America. In America, you can say practically anything, anywhere, and there's no real limits. Here, again, with the anti-terrorism legislation, there are things you now know you can't say. I would be much happier if you could say whatever the fuck you wanted without breaking. I don't see why. How can you be breaking the law by speaking? It's one of the things they say: if you're preaching racial or religious intolerance, then you're just breaking the law. Well, that's fine. But unfortunately, you go into any mosque, any church, any synagogue, any place of worship that isn't Church of England, because Church of England are a bit sort of la-di-da, crappy Christians. All you ever hear is intolerance. Basically, the stuff evangelical Christians preach quite happily in America, as far as I can tell, would be considered illegal here. I don't know, I've kind of branched off this topic. It's one of those ones that really I get quite militant about, because we're in this fictional war on terror, which you can't win anyway. What's the point of that? But basically, if we can, here we go. If we can give Nazis a proper fair trial in Nuremberg, why should you be ignoring the human rights of terror suspects who haven't been convicted or anything, who've just been speaking? Yeah, apparently you can try Nazis, but you can't try terrorist suspects. Okay, leave your disagreeing, hateful comments below.